Hey, so we all know that fascism has come to America, but it came a long time ago. People forget that we live in a surveillance state. Hillary Clinton voted for the Patriot Act, and Barack Obama repealed habeas corpus. And so now the government monitors every email you send, every phone call you make, every text you send and receive. As Chris Hedges says, that is not what I would call liberty. That is something else. That seems like the relationship a slave has with its master. So I don't know if you remember Occupy Wall Street, right? So the government was in bed with the banks that crashed our economy. People got kicked out of their houses. People lost their retirement savings, and people went to complain. They went to Occupy Wall Street, right, to petition their government for redress of grievances. And what did Barack Obama do? He let the cops, Democratic mayors ordered cops, union cops, to go out and bash in the heads of peaceful protesters. And that's exactly what they did in America after they just got fucked over hard. They had legitimate grievances, still do. Those people in North Dakota still do. Barack Obama's letting them get their heads bashed in and he's falling asleep. That's what happens with the left. When Barack Obama is the president, the left goes to sleep. There's still 40% of black people of the prison population is black men. 40%. Barack Obama even ever bring it up? Did he do a fucking thing that fix it or try? Rand Paul talks about it. Rand Paul. So why do I bring this up? So they're sending people to crack the heads of peaceful protesters out in North Dakota. And so other states are sending their cops there. They're using a special rule that was put in the 90s. So if another state had an emergency, we could. So I think it was after Oklahoma City bombing, people started getting scared, like maybe we'll have to start sharing cops. So they passed this bill that allowed you to send cops from one state to another, and that was under an emergency, but it has to be under an extreme emergency declared by the governor. Well, that's why they're sending cops from other states over to North Dakota. And a lot of some of the people are wanting the sheriffs who are sending their cops to bring them back. For instance, see, that already happened in Wisconsin. We did that story. There was a town in Wisconsin, told the sheriff, bring our people back. We don't want you sending the people who live next door to me over to North Dakota to crack the heads of indigenous people. So they brought them back in Wisconsin, and now here's another one. Gatlin County Sheriff has canceled his plans to send deputies to help police the oil pipeline protests in North Dakota after a wave of critical feedback from residents. This is what we've been saying. The people don't want this happening. Those cops are out there cracking the heads of peaceful protesters and indigenous people, the first Americans, Native Americans. They're out there doing that at the behest of corporations and the donors of Barack Obama. They're not doing that at the behest of the people. The people don't want the cops out there doing that. This is fascism, right? That's when the corporations and the government conspire to help the corporation at the detriment of the people. That's fascism. That's what's happening. Fascism is what capitalism does when it's under threat. And that's what they're doing in North Dakota. Fascism is what capitalism does when it's under threat. And so people are full of they've had enough of it, and they're telling them Sheriff Brian Gutkin said that after news. Gutkin sounds very Third Reichish, doesn't it? Gutkin, Sergeant Gutkin, der Führer. So Sheriff Brian Gutkin said that after news broke Wednesday that he would take 4 deputies to protest over the Dakota Access Pipeline near Standing Rock Sioux reservations. He received numerous calls and emails from people urging him not to send the deputies. Gutkin said he had some very respectful and very positive conversations with folks, and after thinking about it overnight, decided against sending his deputies. Look at that. That's some people reaching out to their elected officials on a local level and saying, cut the shit. And they respond. Those people vote. I'm bet that sheriff gets voted in. Look at that. And I'm guessing it was Democrats and Republicans saying, cut it out. That's why. If it was just lefties, I don't think that sheriff would have cared that much. I'm going to guess it was a wide swath of people. I serve the people, and the people have spoken, Gutkin said. Hey, so at least he got that. At least he's listening to his people. At least he's doing that. Many people reached out to the sheriff to voice their concerns. They don't want their sheriff's office going over there, Gutkin said. They want us here taking care of them. There have been more than 400 arrests since August after protesters clashed with law enforcement. So Gutkin, look at him. Whether he's real, he's listening to the people either way, and it's probably out of fear for his job, which is good. That's what you're supposed to do. I've told this story a bunch of times already. I'll tell it again. It's the story Chris Hedges tells about the end of the book that Henry Kissinger wrote about his time with Nixon. There was thousands of protesters outside the gates of the White House, and they had taken school buses and laid them end to end in case they broke through the gates, and they would have them as a barrier. And Nixon turns to Henry Kissinger and says, "Henry, I'm afraid if they break through the barriers, they'll come for us and kill us." And that's exactly where we need them to be. And that's a little piece of it right there. The local people said to the sheriff, "Get the fuck out of there. What are you doing? Why don't you try fixing some problems here at our house instead of cracking the heads of peaceful protesters in another goddamn state at the behest of Wall Street and oil companies? It's not what our cops are for." And they listened. So this is what's going to happen going forward. People are going to organize. People are organizing right now. There's already a bank that pulled out of the funding of North Dakota. So this is what we do. We have an enemy now. I'm talking about Trump. There's an ugly face on all the horrible shit our government's been doing under Democrats. Now there's a horrible face because Barack Obama's such a pretty face, and he talks so pretty that everybody goes, well, everything must be okay because it's Barack Obama, and half the left goes to sleep under a Democrat. Well, now all the left is woken up. Now all the left is woken up.